So this one is basically a classic whodunit with some werewolf stuff mixed in. Which I gotta admit is a pretty unique and fun concept, also the main reason I wanted to see it. It just looked like a good time and like a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. And I have to say, it did kick things off in the right way with this little, I don't even know what to call it exactly. A title card thingy with this little poem type deal, and that was pretty funny. So you know, if you have me laughing within the first few seconds, that's a pretty good sign. And I will say that this is a relatively funny movie overall too, occasionally even very funny. However, I also have to say that it swings and misses a whole lot more than it hits a home run when it comes to the comedy. Because the attempts at humor are more or less constant, they just keep on coming. And a large portion of those attempts fell flat to me, but because there are so many attempts, a lot of them still landed. So yeah, pound for pound not the funniest movie I've ever seen, but still funny enough I'd say to not call it a failure as a comedy. And when it comes to the whodunit part of the story, well, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. Now, in many ways this does feel very much like a traditional murder mystery type thing. But the way it approaches things does leave room for some fun and creative choices. But not gonna lie, it did still remind me a lot of Knives Out, because, well, a large portion of the movie involves a lot of people, a colorful cast of characters locked up in an old mansion, trying to figure out who's behind all the recent terrible events that have taken place. But then you throw in a werewolf angle, and yeah, that adds a whole nother layer to it. And the basic gist of the story is that we follow this forest ranger, who gets assigned to this small town in the middle of nowhere, but he's barely arrived when things get interesting. And we follow him and all the other characters as they try to figure out exactly what's going on. Is it actually a werewolf stalking the town, or are there real werewolves, perhaps within the people of the town itself? And there are good reasons to believe that perhaps some of the people are behind the recent events. But that's basically what the movie explores, and you'll just have to watch it to find out what's actually going on. And I feel like the movie did a pretty good job keeping up that mystery. And I definitely had some theories myself. I had my suspicions about the motivations and the actual culprit too. And not gonna lie, usually I'm completely off with my guesses, but in this case I was actually pretty much right on the money. But at the same time, I actually didn't have any good reasons behind my suspicions, because the movie did a good job at misdirecting and hiding certain crucial details. It was more of a gut feeling that turned out to be correct, but I was pretty happy about that anyway. Now, partially I kinda wish it didn't go that way with the story. I don't know if it felt all that satisfying, the way it ended it. But at the same time, I've seen far worse too, so I guess I can't complain too much. Because it did wrap things up and more or less tied up any loose ends. And yeah, I did enjoy this movie. It was fun, but I still don't think it was anything all that special. So once again, I feel like I can't give it much more than a very low 7. Boop. But if you like werewolves or murder mystery whodunit type things, you should probably give this one a shot. Or alternatively, you could also just skip it. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic.